Hello everybody, welcome to my video review of Avengers: Age of Ultron. Now before I start talking about the film, I wanted to talk about one thing about the movie in particular that really bothered me. It was the 3D. After this movie, I'm never seeing another 3D movie again. I can't do it anymore, people. I tried so hard. I really wasn't going to see this in 3D anyway. I have slightly lazy eyes, so I kind of sometimes can't see it, but it doesn't affect me to the point where I can see 3D. I saw Godzilla in 3D and that worked. Dread 3D was fantastic. That was the best 3D movie I've seen in years, and still to this day, it probably is the best 3D movie I've ever seen. It was the combination of the atmospheric 3D along with the, cliche 3D where things flying out the face. That was the best 3D movie I've ever seen, and I want to say that that's the standard that 3D movies should follow, but they don't. They would normally come out like this. I'm sitting in the theater, and through the previews, all I can think of is my eyes are burning. And throughout the entire movie, throughout this entire 2-hour movie, my eyes were on fire. It felt as though my eyes were constantly being dried. No matter how much I would blink, my eyes still felt as though they were just dry. And I can't put up with that anymore. That's not the first time that happened. It happened to me a couple times in other movies. And I had enough. I had enough. The movie wasn't improved with the 3D. It burned my eyes, it darkened the screen, and it ruined my first experience with Avengers: Age of Ultron. I don't like that. I do not like a movie that I really was anticipating being ruined from a dumb gimmick. 3D needs to stop. I know some people are saying they didn't have a problem with 3D, but I'm just 100% done with 3D movies. I'm taking a stand. I'm not paying more for a darker screen. If theaters are going to play 3D movies, they need to brighten their screens. I am not paying more for a worse experience. Get your things together quick. That's not a fault of the movie. I know that's the fault of the theater, but some movies just shouldn't be in 3D, and in all honesty, I feel as though this movie would have been fine standard 2D. It doesn't make much of a difference. It doesn't improve the atmosphere, and it doesn't have enough of the flying in the face gimmick in order for it to be worthwhile. It was just a thing that was tacked on to make the movie cost a bit more and sell 3D glasses and give away those cool 3D glasses they had at the IMAX screenings. I didn't have those. I didn't go see an IMAX screening. I saw it at a Regal theater. They have bigger screens, but after this, I'm sorry, but 3D, I am 100% done with 3D. The 3D of this movie, I'm not going to hold it against the rating, but I will say that if I did, this probably would have knocked it back a star. Now on to Age of Ultron. Avengers: Age of Ultron. It's fun. It's really, really fun. The movie is about the Avengers. They find Loki's staff. They bring it back. And during their adventure to get Loki's staff back, Tony Stark has a vision. A vision of all the Avengers dying. And they all say, "You could have stopped this, why didn't you save us?" Because he saw what happened outside of the black hole. And he doesn't like this. He wants a way to stop the bad guys without risking anyone getting hurt. So he finds that Loki's scepter has its own form of intelligence, and he creates the AI that becomes known as Ultron. Ultron winds up seeing humanity as something that needs to evolve, so he decides it needs to be destroyed in order to evolve, and starts taking its own forms. And obviously the Avengers don't want humanity to be extinct. So, adventure begins. Ultron is a great villain in this movie. He's dark, but he also has a sense of humor, which I wasn't expecting. Took me aback a little bit, but I got over it. It's still a good villain nonetheless. The only problem I had with him, though, was that in the first Avengers movie, Loki didn't just show up in the Avengers. He had another movie where he was mentioned. I think that Age of Ultron would have been better had he had been at least somewhat mentioned in another movie where Tony Stark hints at creating something. But as far as I remember, he doesn't in any of the movies. He didn't in Iron Man 3. It's shown in Iron Man 3 he has multiple suits, but none of them are an Ultron suit. So Ultron's just kind of spontaneous creation. It's just kind of bewildering. It makes sense that Tony would want to create this, but Ultron, when he's created, he isn't made and then he has a character arc where he sees things. It's all just downloaded into his memory bank. And then as soon as his first suit is built, which is just a damaged Iron Man suit, he just says the extinction of humanity needs to happen. And then he starts taking the brains of all the suits. If it's an Iron Man suit, aside from the ones that Tony is wearing, obviously, then it's Ultron in control of it. So the Avengers have their work cut out for them. They can't stop him because every time they kill him, he just comes back as a stronger form. As he said, he's evolving. So Ultron wants to come to the ultimate form, which is the Vision. That's where the Vision comes in. And that's where I'm going to end the plot, because after that it's Avengers fighting Ultron. That's basically the movie. The Avengers need to stop Ultron. Now, this was kind of a filler because I couldn't help but shake the feeling that they needed this to fill in before the Infinity War. It's not a bad filler. It's not as along the lines of Thor: The Dark World, where Thor: The Dark World just grinded like a filler film. This one, it was good. Do I like it more than the first Avengers? I don't know. I have to say it again. I liked Guardians of the Galaxy. Is still my favorite Marvel movie, at least the cinematic universe, because that one had the best characters, best dialogue, best acting. I mean, they all have great acting. Best set pieces. I think that one was just it just worked and had the best soundtrack. That one really amped it up. This one, it's just the Avengers going at it. And Guardians of the Galaxy was a new team. We've seen the Avengers fight before, so that's why I wasn't as impressed with this one as I was with the first Avengers, because the first Avengers was a new big thing. It was something that we haven't seen before. And it's just awesome. It was awesome to finally see that put to screen. Excuse me. It was something that people have been anticipating for years, seeing the Avengers on the big screen. That's why the first one was so important. And now, this one, not bad, but it just now doesn't have the same big deal as the first Avengers did. It's the same Avengers team, aside from Vision, Scarlet Witch, and Quicksilver. And they're not really a part of the Avengers until the very end. So it's just the same Avengers team. There's nothing new. It's just the old team back together again. And that's not a bad thing, people. That's a good thing. They did it really well. And Thor is awesome. I loved Thor in this movie. And Hawkeye is twice as important in this movie as he was in the first one. He actually seems useful in this. There's a scene where Scarlet Witch is hypnotizing people and controlling their minds. And slight spoiler, it's not that big of a plot point. And looks like she's about to hypnotize him, but he stops her, and he says, "I've already been hypnotized once, I'm not doing it again." It's something along those lines. It was a great scene. This movie has a good sense of humor about it, and I like that. Overall, Age of Ultron is really good. The action set pieces are all really fun. It's an Avengers movie, so they're all expected to be really good. I would like to see the extended cut of this, because apparently there's an extended version, and I wonder what the alternate ending is. Spider-Man's not in this movie. He's not in this movie at all. He's not in the post-credits scene. There's a mid-credit scene. There's no post-credits scene. I like the idea of the post-credits scene. It's fun sometimes, but, it's not necessary. I still think which one was the best post-credit? The funniest one is still is Guardians of the Galaxy. I think that's the funniest one. And then probably the best post credits would probably have to be Iron Man, because that was the one that showed, hey, the Avengers are coming. This one, the Avengers, this post credit scene is just a build to, it's not a build to Civil Wars, it's to the Infinity Wars. This one, Age of Ultron, that is, definitely hints at the future of the Avengers team. There are light references to Civil War, like when I get this feeling that when Captain America, he's trying to pick up Thor's hammer, and you can see him like lightly lift it up, and Thor's kind of freaked out by it. I think that's supposed to be a reference to Civil War, where Captain America probably gets corrupted. I'm not sure, but we still have to see Civil War to find out, and I'm excited for that movie. That movie it's probably going to be pretty good. But overall, the movie is a good time. It has great acting, great action, great special effects. Ultron's fantastic as a villain. I love the James Spader. He's a fantastic. Like, we need more James Spader. James Spader's so unbelievably underrated. It's not even funny, people. He did great. He's great in The Blacklist, and he just has that voice that just works. I wish they digitized it a bit more, but it's fine. And they obviously, Ultron's way underpowered in terms of how it was Powers of War in the comics. Because if they would have made him the Ultron in the comics, he just would have been invincible. There's no way around it. And the guy who did Jarvis in The Vision, he's fantastic. There's not an actor in this movie that I didn't like, and I loved how the girl from Freaks and Geeks was in this movie. I'm sorry I forget her name, but she has an appearance in this movie, and my friends and I, we love that show, and that was very cool to see. I definitely recommend seeing Age of Ultron. If you don't have a problem with the 3D, then see it in 3D. But I did, so I recommend seeing it in 2D. Just don't risk hindering your experience because of the 3D. Don't waste your money on the 3D. Just see it in standard 2D. I recommend Age of Ultron, very high recommendation. Guardians of the Galaxy, I'm even wearing the shirt right now. I think that was intentional, I'm not sure. It's still my favorite Marvel movie as of now. Who knows? Maybe something else will come along and blow my mind even more. But Age of Ultron, still really, really good. Probably my third favorite Marvel movie. Second or third favorite Marvel movie. Maybe third. I think I'd have to make a list. But anyways, I give it a 5 out of 5. It's a great time. I really can't complain much about it, aside from the whole Ultron origin thing. That was kind of a problem. And it did kind of feel like a filler, but it's all forgiven. It's a fun action film, and it's exactly what I want in a summer film. And Ultron, great villain, great voice. Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, they're really good. They didn't give Quicksilver a big scene like they did in X-Men, but he's still a fun character in this film. More accurate to the comics. It would have been cool to see him have one of those moments, and they keep hinting at it in the movie that he might have that big thing, but he never does, unfortunately. And I think people are going to remember that Days of Future Past one as opposed to this one. But still, great character. All great characters, because they're characters we all grew up with. Anyways, Age of Ultron, check it out. Catch you guys later.